Hello, people. Hello, everybody. Good evening, sirs and ma'ams. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, Vic. Good evening, Achizi Chat. Good evening, Kosivi. Hi, Daniel. Fumi, good evening. Gbemisola, Chinedum, Folabi, Mary, okay, Emmanuel. All right. My apologies for coming in lately. I think I experienced what you Lagos people normally experience. I'm fine. Thank you, sir. Atinushola. Today is just there. It's just there. It's just there. What's a man go do? Okay, Esther, you want a car? Okay. Just go to the junction now. Now it will still be very hot now. Uncle Angie, why are you asking? You want to give me money? You want to give me a sack of hard currency? Hi, is everyone today? Welcome to today's class. Today's session what? Fisayo, I scared you yesterday. How? That's fine, Jerry. Uncle Isaiah. Na so. Daniel, go collect them. As you want them, as you want them. Send the receipts. Ah, Madam Angie, no vex, no vex, no vex. Emma Bin, hot question. Waiting do hot question. Waiting with that. You practice the lookup and match function with a file in the office, but it was returning an error. I finally got it, but I had to delete the first two, which is a duplicate column. Why is that, sir? I wouldn't tell. I'm not able to picture what you're saying and why the error. But the good news is you got it. So that's the good news. The good news. I Coco applied your teaching that we should not be quick to answer, but boss almost change them for us. I didn't change it for anyone. I only expressed my feelings. I only expressed how I felt about the whole thing yesterday. So who am I to change it for somebody? How old am I? I'm just coming up. You are the bosses. It's only a privilege to be here. I don't take it for granted. I don't do beyond myself. You can't use Control T to convert to table. That's strange. That's strange. Something might be wrong with Excel. All right, so let's begin. Welcome to session 11, which technically, so this is the plan. More like it, today will be the last technical session per se. So tomorrow, I want tomorrow to be more of conversations, questions, responses, just general talks, just general talks on all you've done on data as a whole, career, whatever questions. Hopefully, I know the answers, anyways. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow is we will try to unpack the different pieces and put them all together tomorrow by God's grace. So whatever questions you've had, maybe it's outside of what we have done in class, you can come with them tomorrow. Oma, you like talks, okay? So you can come with your questions tomorrow so that we just discuss. We talk about life tomorrow. Everything is not Excel, yeah. Excel is good, but everything is not Excel. Okay, so put that in mind. So let's focus for today, and please put your mind at what we are gonna be talking about today. Everyone, please go to the chat now. Type something that you learned yesterday. Just one thing that you learned yesterday. Uncle Isaiah, chop knuckles. Okay, someone learned power pivot, data modeling. Talking is not interesting on just texts. I don't get. I see, I see. Sorry. That's what we call very now. Manage it like that, yeah. Imagine the time of to go. You are in a group, but you can chat. You can only you don't have go credit, so you can only read what others are writing. So just imagine that scenario, yeah. Who still uses to go? Linking many pivot tables in data modeling, Power Query, Power Pivot, data modeling, Power Pivot and modeling. Power Pivot American Wonder. Which one be this one now? How to create relationship between different worksheets. Good. How to work with multiple pivot tables. Uh, we have Power Query, Power Pivot, Power Maps. Good. How to create relationship with different tables. It was quite tough for me because my version of Excel is different from yours. Oh, but you got it right. Adding more tables to existing pivot table. Yeah. That's possible with Power Pivot. What are your numbers without dates? Dates give context to your data, report the power of power pivot. And, oh, yeah, interesting, Chineye. How to undo date format, how to work with multiple tables. Super. Any other thing someone learned something different from all that's been mentioned? What if we have above 5 tables to model together? Is there a faster way to achieve that? Yeah. Well. So what we saw yesterday was a way. Okay. So we have different ways to do same thing. It's not Lagos Road. It's just one way. If you're from Ibadan now, for example, let's say you're going to toll gates. You're going to toll gates in Ibadan. You could decide that you want to go through Iwo Road or Shogo. You take the express, or you want to go from Iwo Road, you go to gates, and then from there to Ojaba Malete, and then you bust out from Malete. So you bust out from toll gates, or you say you want to go through Bashorun, you go to Makola, and then you find your way to toll gates. So Ibadan is interesting. You have different routes to the same place, but Lagos is just one way. When they thrive for here. So coming to your question, Chineye, it's that there are a couple of ways to do the same thing. A couple of ways. So what we saw yesterday was a way. And because I wanted to make the conversation of Power Pivots to be simple to you, that's why I will not relocate to Lagos by God's grace. So that's why I went that route. I didn't want it to look complicated because Power Pivot as a tool, it's actually layered on top of Excel. So it's a different tool. It's different from Excel itself. And that's why for Power Pivots, you can actually write calculations in Power Pivots as well. But Power Pivot has a different language. For those of you that you have some background with Power BI, what is the language of Power BI? Anybody? What's the language of Power BI? Are we all new to Power BI? No one has an idea? Yeah, DAX. So DAX is the language of Power BI, which is data analysis expressions. No, M code is for Power Query. M code, that is for Power Query. Someone wrote that. Uncle Olashopo. So DAX is the language of Power BI. So that language is actually not the language of BI. It started as the language of Power Pivot. So the same DAX that you write in Power BI, you can actually write it in Power Pivot. All right. So, and it makes your life a lot easier because there are some complicated calculations that you want to do in Excel that if you would achieve that same thing in Excel, it's going to take a sweat from you. But if you know DAX to some extent, you can write that within Power Pivot and then you get the result that you want. So let's do one or two. That's part of the plan for today. And then we now go into visualizations. Excuse me. All right. So I'll come back here. So I want to go back into, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. What is Power Query? Power Query is, so think of Power Query as your kitchen. So that's where you prep your data. That's where you cook it. That's where there's no money in Ibadan. We saying there's no money in Ibadan. So that's where you clean your data. So Power Query is an ETL tool, but primarily think about it as your data is dirty. You want to clean it in a way that you can automate the process. So you are not doing it every now and then. So you use Power Query for that. Power Query is one of the tools that you would learn, I believe, in the Power BI section of this of this course. So if you know it well, it's good for you. You would achieve a lot if you know Power Query very well. I mean very well, like very well. Yeah. So you'll be able to do a lot. All right. So I'm sharing my screen. The admin, please help me push the screen. Madam Tulu, please help. Okay. So what I was explaining is this. Imagine that we want to be able to, let's say that, okay, people, give me a requirement. Give me a report. Something that a report you want to see. Okay. What I mean is this. So from what we did yesterday, we saw the breakdown of our revenue by the different dates. Um, we saw the breakdown of our quantity by the different quarters of the year. We saw the breakdown of the quantity by the different store. From that data that you have with you, tell me some other report you would like to see. Sir, you didn't introduce power in Excel. I didn't introduce power in Excel. What does that mean? Can we have a full screen? Is the screen even up at all yet? Okay, the screen is up. Oh no, yeah. So it's the admin would help with that. They will maximize it. Just hold on for a second for them. Don't worry, don't worry. It's not full screen. They will put it on full screen. I know people. Revenue by payment method. Okay, so where do we have payment method? That's on the orders, right? Okay, so on the orders we have payment method. Okay, cool. So tell me more, tell me more. I live in it, but I want to connect to you so that I can contact you if I have any questions. And also, you will pay, sir. You want to be contacting me for free. The most demanding products by city. The most demanding product by city. Do you mean the product that we sell the most? Yes, I've seen it on orders. Yeah. All right. Thank you, boss. So the screen is up, right? The way you want. So think. Analyst. Come up with interesting things you want to see. Yeah, we can't use the product yet until we are able to get a key. If I was in much earlier, I would have added that to it. Total sales with promo code. Okay. Total sales with promo code. I'm just gonna do a few of them as you're saying, eh? So promo code. All right, someone should look at this. Someone should look at this. Someone should look at my screen. Look at what I've got here. Let's use this as a case study. So now we have this is a report showing the revenue by promo codes. Revenue by promo codes. So we have some promo codes here, and we've got a blank here. What does the blank translate to? Think about it for a second before you respond. What does the blank translate to? So here, these are supposed to all be promo codes. These are supposed to be the transaction amount based on the transactions that we use the promo codes on. And we have a blank here. Why do we have the blank? What does it mean? You do not have XLOOKUP. What alternative can you use? You have made some previous sessions, so go and watch it. Yes, empty cells. What does it mean? How do you explain it? The empty cell it means something. Thank you, Asanatuba. No promo was used. So it means that we had a lot of transactions where there was no promo. No promo was applied. Maybe it wasn't a time, all those transactions happened at a time that we were not running discounts. That's what it means. So now, and I want to do something, yeah? I want to do something, which is I want to create a different report. Listen to this, understand what I mean. I want to create a different report that would put together all the transactions that had promos. So it's going to give me a single figure for all transactions that had promos and one figure for transactions that did not have promo. So how do I do this? If I was going to do this with the traditional Excel, how would you approach it? Which is anything that has promo, you want to sum it up, you want to put it together, and anything that does not have promo, you want to put it together. What would be the approach? You do a sum if Fisayomi. Okay, fine. So let's do. So I will go here to orders. So I'm just close to it. But let me teach you something. You know this has been converted to a table. The orders data has been converted to a table. And the name of the table, if I go here to table design, you see that the name is orders. Now, let me show you how you can reference this table and all of the columns that you need there. So I can do something like this. I come here to where my report is. I come here. So I want to have here transactions. Let me put it somewhere close. So this will be transactions, with promos, transactions with promo. So what does transaction with promo mean? So essentially what it means is that I want to sum up all of the transactions that add promos. There are a couple of ways to do that, a couple of them. But I want to introduce you to, let me do the usual one that you already know, which is I do equal to sum if. What is the range that has the numbers that we want to sum up? Remember, what is the name of our table? So I will type orders. Orders is the name of the table. Then if I want to get all of the columns that are on orders table, I will just add a square bracket. So you type the name of the table and you add a square bracket, opening square bracket. Once you add that to it, it now exposes all of the columns that you have on that table. Then I'm just going to go down to, I think it's total amount in there. So I'll double click that. Then I'll close the square bracket. So I'm referencing that entire column on that table. That's what I want to sum up. Then I want to sum this up when the promo code on the orders table is not equal to, what's this? The promo code on the orders table is not equal to blank. Okay, that's what I want to do. So I think that this should be it, but this does not do what I want. Let me check if these are truly blanks. So I go here. Let me do something equal to check if this guy is equal to blank. So they are blanks actually. They are blanks. All right. But it's strange why that acted the way he acted. So let's do something. I will do equal to. I want to filter that entire table, which is the orders. What's the column? This is the column, total amount in naira. I want to filter this column to only include where orders promo code is not blank. So this will give me a list of all the transactions where the promo code is not blank. Then I can now, if I do a sum of this, I get this. So this is how much? 2.381. So let's look at what is here. So sum these numbers, and then you see that the sum is 2381991. So this is what I have here. Then the opposite, transactions without promo codes. So this will be equal to can filter again, filter the orders table, look at it by the look at it by this amount for where the orders promo code is equal to blank. Then just gonna run a sum by this. I run a sum by this. I will get this, and you see that this number you have here is the same guy. So that's equal. But it's not the actual lesson. The actual lesson is this that you have written now, because you have written it in the traditional Excel, you cannot use it in a pivot table. That's the lesson. So how do we create a calculation like this that you can now use in a pivot table, over which you can now create your visuals or your report? That is where we need to go back to the Power Pivot. So I'm going to go back into Power Pivot. A couple of ways. I can go in here to manage data model. Now that I'm in data model, I will go here to the data view so I can see the data. For every single sheet that you see here, orders, this store has data too, you see here. The customer, you see here. For every one of them, you see that at the bottom here, you have a blank space. So this bottom, that is where you will write your calculations with DAX. And it's not that complicated. I will show you one or two or three just to whet your appetite, to make you want to learn it, so you see the power of this and how that can complement your level of Excel, the skills that you already have in Excel, and what that would translate to if you go deeper into this, just so that you own this a lot more. When you want to write, if I come in here, so I might have to, let me see if I can take this guy a lot up. So that we can see the data and we can see this. You'll notice that here we've got the formula bar. So there's a formula bar right at the top. So that tells you that you can write a calculation. But the calculation we can write here is not the traditional Excel calculation. Here we're going to write DAX. DAX, I explained earlier, means data analysis expressions. Data analysis expressions, it's a language that if you know it, you find yourself in Power Pivot Excel environment, you're good. If you know DAX, you'll be able to write it in Power BI. If you know DAX, you'll also be able to write it in a tool called SSAS, SQL Server Analysis Services Tabular. So that's a different tool entirely, but it's still owned by Microsoft. So if you know DAX, you can write the same language in those three places, but with just slight differences. So if you're going to write DAX in Power BI, for example, so you click, you go, of course, you already know how to create that. So you do equal to, that's what you normally will start with if you're writing DAX in Power BI. I mean, okay, let me take it simple. If you want to start your calculation in Excel, what do you start with? People. What do you start with? If you want to write any calculation in Excel, what's the first thing? What do you start with? Somebody say, Oluwa. Exactly, the quality side, that's what you begin with. But DAX has a different syntax. The syntax for DAX is that every single calculation that you write, you must give it a name. Because the way DAX works, when you're creating DAX measures, you are creating a calculation that sits in a container. So it means that when you want to access the content of that container, you must be able to identify the exact container you want to go into. And the identifier to any container you want to go into is the name that you give to that container. So if you're in logistics supply chain, you go into you're receiving shipment of maybe 20 containers, and the 20 containers, they have different products in there. For some they are agro commodities, for some are cement, sugar in some, cars in some. The way to make your life easy when you want to start offloading and when you want to confirm that you have received all your shipment is to be able to identify what is inside each container. So if the container is already labeled, it makes it easier for you. So that's the way DAX measures work. Every single DAX measure that you are creating must have a name. So I'm going to start with a name. So I say this is total sales, for example. Then I do equal to, so the syntax, sometimes I forget it. Let me do something like this. Yeah, so this is the syntax. So now you will notice a difference here. For those of you that are coming from Power BI background. So for Power BI, once you type out the name of your measure, you just add an equality sign and you start writing the function that you want to use. But you notice now that even when I followed that pattern, it didn't work here. So the difference is that for Power Pivot DAX and for SQL Server Analysis Services, you need to have a semicolon equal to before you start writing your function. So this is the difference here. Now, so let's say we want to sum up the total, we want to know the total revenue. So I've just written the function, I tab into it, and then I can call on the actual column, which I think is something ngn, total amount ngn. I select that, I close my bracket, that is all. And now you see that the calculation would run and we'll see the result will sit inside a cell here. So if I hover my mouse on it, you see that it says total sales is this amount. So the other thing you might want to do quickly is to run this formatting on it. Maybe you want to make it comma separated. So you just click on that. And if you check the number, so we can actually expand it. So you don't have to, we can expand the column. So it shows the number. But again, is you can always confirm that it returns something. So this is pretty simple. So what I want to do exactly is what we did earlier, where we got to create this same total sales, but we created it for when we had when we ran promos and transactions that happened without promos. So what I will do now is this. So I'll come here, I will say um transactions with promo, semicolon equal to, sorry, colon equal to. Then I would say that for me to get the transactions with promo, so I would do something like this. I would, don't worry, you may not understand this, but the point I want to drive out is how you can use this calculation in your pivot table, what Excel, the native Excel, will not give to you. So I'll do a calculate, and then I can say that I've already calculated the total sales. So I'll call on the total sales measure, and I would say that it should only use where the promo code, the promo code um, is, so transaction with promo is not equal to blank. So I close the bracket, I hit enter. So this run, this is what we have. So I'll just format this. Where do you feel the attendance? Is okay. Then I will copy this calculation. So I'll use it to create another one. So copy this, and then I'll fill this transactions without, and this one will be equal to blank. So this one, I will just format it this way. So we have this. Now we've created three measures. So what I will do now is to come here. I'm going to save. I will save this. This is saved. Once it's saved, I can go out of this. And then I go here to the orders table now. I go here to the orders table. If I scroll down, you see now that we have three additional things. We have three additional things: total sales, transaction with promo, transaction without promo, which are now available as things that we can use on that table. It means that by implication, we can look at transaction with promo by the products people are buying. We can look at transactions without promo by the products people are buying, the customers that are buying, and stuff. So now we have been able to extend our orders table by adding more calculations to it. So if I go now to create a pivot table, so let me duplicate this guy. So I'll bring it somewhere close. I'll take out what's here, what's here. So now I'll go in here to orders and I select, I want to see transaction with promo, transactions without promo. So I've got this in a pivot table and now I can use this however I want it. So I can say that, let's look at this, break it down by the product category. Now, it's now asking for the relationship between them. Remember that we were not able to create a relationship with the product. So that's the reason for this. So what I would do instead is, let me slice it by customers. Um, the one that we have a relationship between. So if we do it by customer city, you see that things are broken down properly now. And now you see the transaction amount for the transaction amount broken down by location, and it looks like people in Lagos when I too have money, so you don't use a lot of our promos as a business, but other locations they enjoy more of the promos. Yeah, so this is how this works. This is just to make you see the possibilities. Knowing pivot tables will not solve all the problems. For every extension of a tool, there is a problem is coming to solve. If you use a traditional Excel, there are things you'll be able to achieve. Pivot tables, there are things you'll be able to achieve. If you want to extend certain things going a bit further, you would need to learn some other tools to augment whatever you've learned or whatever you've known in the traditional Excel. This is to show you the possibilities anyways. So this is not a power pivot class. If we had run the entire training as fully advanced training, we would have done a lot of power query, a lot of power pivot, and very interesting, amazing stuff with array functions. So what again is, I'm trying to open your minds to the fact that you are done with this training now. Don't start showing to people, don't start forming like people would say that, oh, I'm now an Excel guru, I know this, I know. Yeah, you know what you know, no doubt about it, but that's not the end. Not for bragging sake, but for you to be exceptional in what you do, for you to stand out in how you build solutions. I look at what some people do and I feel like, what the heck is this? Okay, it's not like I'm there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm also still learning. I'm learning a lot, but the point is that for whatever you know, for whatever you learn, for whatever you dip yourself into, do it completely, know it well. So, and that's why I'm trying to show you a bit more possibilities so that you don't feel that after this call, after this boot camp, there is nothing more beyond pivot tables, or there is nothing more beyond the functions that you have learned, or there's nothing more beyond XLOOKUP. No, we have lots and lots more things ahead. How can I share an editable Excel worksheet to a second party? It depends. If you have an Excel, if you have a Microsoft license, if the person is on the same tenant with you, which is you're in the same organization, you can share directly with them. You just copy the link of the file and you share with them. But if they're not in the same organization as you, that would be tough to do. So the only thing you can do is to download the file. That's the option you have. Uh, okay, you are free. Please form, but don't go form for where they go form you. Eh, uncle, calm down. All right, so that's the point that I'm trying to pass across. Any questions so far? Don't tell me to redo that calculation because I won't do it. That's not part of the agenda of the course. It's just to show you the possibility. You can wear shoulder pad, but wear the one that is soft. Na so, oh man, na so, na so, na so. Shall we proceed? Any questions? Show us. What should I show you? I've answered your question now. Uncle Agigboe from media. Ginger shot. No, 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 no. you take akara with pap, hot pap. Uh, tell us it thing be like mathematics from. No, I told you now. I think I told you that you need some level of statistics. But this is not even mathematics now. This is arithmetic. There is a difference between arithmetic and mathematics. Okay. No, you don't worry. Ijeoma, you will do better than me. You will do lots more amazing things than I do. I currently do. It's not like I know so much, okay? And this is not me trying to be humble. I know what I know, but it's not like I know so many things like that. But the little I know it well. That's the idea. The little I know it well. So if you know one thing, you know letter A, for example, just try to know in whatever way can A be written. Just try to know that. That's all. You can't know everything in the world, but it makes sense for you to be an expert at something. It makes sense. All right, so let's proceed. So now, what we currently have, we now want to turn this into a dashboard. So we've got this guys. So I'm gonna take this out. So I'm gonna bring this guy here. Um, I will not reply some comments. I choose not to reply. So we want to turn this into a dashboard. When you are creating dashboards in Excel, I don't know. I'm not so sure if we've had this conversation prior, but the point is that the first thing is you need to have a plan in mind. You need to have it's more like you want to build a house. You want to build a house. You've got a land, the piece of land you want to build on, but you don't have a plan. So you just call a bricklayer that you need a three-bedroom flat. So eventually the bricklayer might build you three-bedroom actually, but your bedrooms, all the three will be facing the main road, if you understand what I mean. So the bricklayer will turn your house into a shopping complex. It's not his fault. You did not give the bricklayer, you did not give the engineer, you didn't give them a plan. So if when you have the resource, which in this case you have the data, you must have a plan for what you want to build. I mean to share it to people on WhatsApp, just like our classwork is being shared to us. Yeah, so it should be straightforward. So what you do is you have the file somewhere already, then you attach the file. That's what you typically would do. You attach the file. So if it's on WhatsApp that you want to share it, you'll see an option to attach a file, select document, and you go search for the workbook that you want to share with them. So I don't think it should be complicated anyways. So for whatever dashboard, you need to have a clear plan around it. What do you want to show to people, and in what flow, in what, how do you want them to consume your information? Those are critical things you have to bear in mind. So let's say that for our case, we want to create our dashboard in 3 areas. So we want to look at some reports by customers. You want to look at some reports by the stores. You want to look at some reports by the dates, for example. So now that I know mentally that I want to section the report into three, so what I can do is I can add a new worksheet here. And the first thing I typically do whenever I want to create an Excel report or dashboard is I clean it out. So I go to view, and then I say grid lines should go off. I also could say formula bar should go off so that I have the entire real estate to myself. All right. So when I have this, then what I can do is I can come here to insert. I insert a shape. So I put a shape at the top like this. So this will be like the banner. This will be like the banner for the report. And then I can format this however I want to format it. Sorry, I don't know colors. I don't know which color is this one. Maybe this is purple or blue or dark blue or lavender blue. I don't know. So you have this. Then I want three sections for my report. So I can just give a little bit of space here. Then I can duplicate this guy. So I do something like this. I don't have this design anywhere. So however it comes out, you manage it. So I have this guy here. I duplicate this guy. I put it here. And then I duplicate the guy again. I put the guy here. Then I just bring this down a bit. And for these guys, I'll just make them a lot lighter. So maybe I do this for this one. No outline. This one, I do maybe something like, don't tell me color riot too. I'm not like me that they abuse person. And then for this one, I just do something like maybe yeah, I can do this like this. So this will be like the layout for my dashboard. This is my dashboard. So at the top here, I'm gonna have the banner, and then whatever has to do with maybe customers, I'm gonna put them here. The center, maybe the date. This one, maybe the store. All right. So now what I can do here is this. So I can insert a text box on this guy. So I call these customers. Control E to centralize it. I can make it smaller. So I do something like this. And then I take the guy to the top. Then I duplicate. So this is customers. So this will be like the date. Duplicate. And this is here. So this will be stores. Stores and dates. So we've got this. So what I would do instead is I don't want this to, someone is telling me it's colorful. You want to massage my ego. I will not agree. So I can take out the fill, just make this bold. So you might want to do whatever style you want to do, but again, that's not the important thing. So okay, this format this. All right, so we have the layout already. So at the top, I'm just gonna type here that this is AI Now Bootcamp 2025, and this. I'll increase the size slightly, like so. So this is the layout for our report now. So we now start to build our report. So let's pick some things that relate to customers, and then I'm gonna just rename this worksheet. I'll rename this to what's this? This will be the report, and then I'm gonna rename this to pivots. I know someone is looking at my spelling, so then, so what do we have here that relates to customers? I'm not sure we've got anything here. So we have store. Let's build something quickly for customers. I'm just gonna do this. Control C, Control V, take this guy out. Then I'll go to customers. So we've got customer ID. I'll take this guy out. Then I'm gonna slice this by orders. I'll pick it by total sales. But it's a very long list of customers. So I would filter this to only show the top 5. So I'll do a right click and I'll go to filter top 10. So I want this to show me top 5 only. So these are the top 5 by their revenue. So this one now that I have, I'll just duplicate this and I use this to do the bottom. So I go to value filters, top and bottom 5. So let's see the bottom guys, the guys we know they spend Akagon. So let's turn them into a chart. If you have a table like this and you want to turn it into a chart, what you do is the shortcut is Alt F1. So when you do Alt F1, that gives you a chart. So you get a default chart like this. But let's clean this out. So I would right click on any of the buttons and I say hide off your buttons. I would take out the grid lines. I would take out the legend, the chart title. I will say this is top 5 customers by sales. Then I want this to be horizontal. So this is a column chart anyways, but some people call it vertical bar chart. I don't know where they have that from. Maybe it was their math teacher that taught them. So but this is a column chart. So I'm going to change this into a bar chart. So I'll come here to design, change chart type. I'll do bar. So and then I'll do something like this. Then I will take out this guy here and then I'll add a data label. Yep. So this is what I've got. Then we might want to clean this out a bit more so that these numbers show like, so this 32,443, it shows as 32k, something like that, so that we have a bit of room here. So I'm just going to format that here. So you highlight your numbers and you do Control-1 normally, but if I do Control-1 on my system, it will do something else. So my system is not like everybody's system. So I come here to custom, then here that we have general. So I'll just write this simple code here. So I'll do hash comma hash dot 0, one decimal place, and I'll do 1 like that. Now add k to it. Yeah, so I'll do this. So this is what we have. You see that this is a lot cleaner. Then I'm just gonna, I see your question, I'll attend to it. So I'll come here to reports where we have this. I'm just gonna drop the guy here. So I'll just drop the guy here like so. So these things are scrambled together now. So I can click on any one, then try to reduce the size so that we have some room. So I do. So whatever you want to edit on your visual, just click on the element. So it's pretty simple. So whatever portion of this you want to edit, just click on it and you do the usual formatting that you normally would do. So let's say I do something like this. Feel I want to this does not give me the, it doesn't give me the eyedropper. Anyways, so that I don't take too much of your time. But you can always play around with the formatting. So you do something like this. So we've got this. Then I'll come here. So I'll turn this guy also to a chart. Alt F1. I would yeah, you can do a pie chart. You can do a pie chart. Well, if you work with me and you use a pie chart, you'll be fired that day. Either of it buttons and charts. So how would you pie chart of whole charts? Let's see the edit. What does that mean? So bottom five, bottom five customers. See now, someone said pie chart. I'm now typing nonsense. Bottom five customers by sales. Please don't say pie chart in this class again. Uh, yeah. So hey, someone is saying donut. You people, you not today eat snacks. You did a sup. Uh, so I'm gonna just resize the guy, make the guy small, and then just gonna pull the guy somewhere here. Uh, what do I have against pie chart? A lot. That guy not get respect. You go to stress, you go to look which pie big pass. I beg. On the stress with man. So yeah, so this is how you continue. Just keep picking each of the charts, turning whatever you have on your pivot. You keep turning it into different charts, and then you take them onto your reports and you put them there. So that's the idea. This and what do they call it in English? In Yoruba we say it's a kwagba. So when you do a kwagba, you don't have to do a lot of talking. You show them the way, and then they're able to navigate it. But you get the idea. So this is how you progress. You continue, you continue, you continue, you continue. Uncle Ayobami. If you work with me, don't use pie chart. That's what I am saying. All right. So yeah. Now the next important thing is this. You have built your report, Yeah, everything nice, well put together. It's all nice and good. So what should you do next? So what you typically want to do is, especially if your users would, if your users would have to, if your users will be the ones to have access to this report, okay? So what you would do is that every data sheet that you have here, you're supposed to write them. But I'm gonna show you. I will show you. Don't worry. Don't worry. So I will do something like this. I will do something like this. But first, let's see our data updates. We have new transactions, and this grows. So I have so I'm just gonna duplicate this entire row. I'll push it down. Then I will make the quantity, the amount. Let me make the amount ridiculously large so that you can see the difference. So this is the amount here for this particular transaction. What happened? Is this supposed to be a calculation? Okay. So this is what we have. So we have this to be the amount, total amount. So let's go to our pivot. What you would expect is that your pivot should already update. That's what you would expect. If I go back to the orders, let's see which customer is this. This is CO514. If I go to the pivot, you see that CO514 is not even on the list at all. So all we need to do is to go here to pivot table analyze. You go to pivot table analyze and you see this refresh button, just say refresh all. So when you do refresh all of the connections will be renewed back to the data, and now you see that the bros has come in now, and you see the amount for their own transaction, more than 100 billion that's coming now. So that is all you need to do, is just to refresh. And if I go in now to the report I created, you see the guy has taken the entire bar, and all the other ones, they are looking like dwarfs around it. So this is what you would do whenever you have new data. And that was the reason why I emphasized the point that you must ensure that before you start creating your pivot tables, convert your original tables into a table, format them as a table. So a couple of ways: stay anywhere in between Control T. Someone that said Control T did not work for them. So what you may want to do is to under the home tab, you come here to this button here that says format as a table. So if you use that guy, select any option here, it will convert them into a table, I believe. So that is what you would do. Now, assuming that you are now done, so I'm going to take out that guy that took the number to a whole different level. So our report is back as it was. So assuming that you are now done with your entire report, when you want to share this with people, the only thing you want to share with them, you only want them to be able to see this. You don't want them to see any other thing. One thing that people will do is they'll come here, they will hide. They will hide this one. 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 They go to the pivot, they will hide it. So you see now that we only have one worksheet showing reports. But if you send this to me, what I would do is I will right click on reports, and you see that it tells me that I cannot hide. Because on hide is not grayed out, that already gives an indication that there are some sheets that are hidden. So how do you hide worksheets in a way that not many people, except for people like me again, would know that you probably still have something hidden? So this is what you would do. And if you do this well, I can bet you that a lot of people in your organization do not know that this exists. So just watch. So I'm going to unhide all the worksheets. So unhide everything. So all the worksheets are back. Then what I would do is a couple of ways actually, but you can do this. So if you right click on any worksheet, you cannot freeze worksheet. You can only freeze panes. So you freeze the cells within the worksheet. You cannot freeze worksheets. So what you would do is you come here to this guy. Once you right click on any worksheet, come here to this guy that says view code. So I do a right click, I go to view code. So when I do view code, this will open a new window. It will open a new window for you. I'll bring the window here. The window opened on a different screen. So it gives you this window. So this is the VBA editor. So VBA is Visual Basic for Application. That is the traditional programming interface for anything Microsoft Office. So in your Excel, you can write codes. So if you want to write codes in Excel, this is where you come to. You want to write codes in PowerPoint. So you can use codes to generate your slides in PowerPoint, but you need to paste the code in the Visual Basic Editor, and then the system will run the codes, and all your slides will be generated. So, but that's not the point. So the point is, we are now here. These are all your worksheets. So I'll click on Pivot, for example. I'll click on Pivot. I'll come here to the properties. So you see that we have properties. The properties you need to pay attention to is this one, visible property. So if I click on this visible property, it says that Excel sheet visible. So this tells you that the sheet is visible. If I click on the drop down, there are three options. If you do Excel sheet hidden, it will hide the worksheet, but it will still be able to unhide it. That's what happens. This is the option that it switches to when you do the normal hide in Excel. But the one that we are going to use is Excel sheet very hidden. So I'll just select this last option. Why would I know they allow me select them? Unable to set the visible property for the sheet class. Which one is sheet class? This one, this guy. Wait, let me reopen it. I'll reopen the Visual Basic. So you can also go here to Developer Visual Basic, and then I pick a worksheet. I hope I've not set something already that's not making this work. But that's the idea. That's how it works. So let me see. Maybe I already have something. So this one is okay. Very hidden store. This is very hidden product. Okay. Wait. Pivot. Pivot is very hidden. Some of them went on very hidden already. So this one went. Where's the report? Report should not go to very hidden. Report should be visible. All right. So I have a few of them already. So let's use that. So this are shown. Then I'll close this. Now, what do you see here? We've got only two worksheets here. All of the other worksheets have been hidden. Then if you right click on any worksheet here, you see that the unhide button is grayed out. So people cannot unhide from here. So which tells you that when you open any workbook, someone shares a workbook with you, you open the workbook, you see that unhide is grayed out. It doesn't necessarily mean that there are no hidden worksheets. All right. So this is an additional lesson for you. And there is also an option for you to password the developer tab so that people cannot even go there. All right. But again, I think it just suffices that we hold off here. It's been a good ride learning Excel, trying to take you from the very foundational things to showing you some advanced stuff that you may want to do, especially if your work is heavy on Excel, how can you be more efficient in what you do? How can you ensure that you're doing things in the most professional way possible? So that's all that we've done. The learnings was very much sequential, very much structured up till last week. This week rounding up was more to show you what's possible, to extend your imagination, so that you know that yes, Excel does not end here. There are lot more things that you can do with Microsoft Excel. But this way we're gonna stop. Let me take the time to attend to some of your questions today. Tomorrow will be more of chit chats. We'll just talk tomorrow. So ensure you come with lots of kono, lots of makara that you can chew in class. We don't do chin chin here. We don't do chewing gum. Just come with a lot of those, and yeah. So that's where we are. Okay, questions, people. Questions. You did your first quiz today. Oh, how was it for you? Disciples don't compete now. You know, see when the boss move. That's fine. Go and learn how to password it. It's okay, Omar. Bring your questions tomorrow. Me, I will not answer your question, Ugochukwu. Yeah, that's the idea, Tipsy. How can you group the what? Sir, you know quick talk. Oh. Data repositories for practice. Go to cargo.com. Cargo.com. Cargo. KAGGLE.com. So if you go there, you'll see a lot and lot of data. You could only answer seven. Seven out of how many? You missed the quiz. Well done, sir. Can you recommend any material site for learning advanced Excel? Go and. How would Yoruba say it? They would say that go and drink water over this first before you think of learning something else. So don't rush your learnings. Trust the process. Take your time. Digest what you know. Remember what I always say. It's not about how much you know. It's not about how much you brag about, but it's about how deep you are in what you know. Yeah. Can we work remotely with you as to gain? Work remotely with me. I don't have a company. There was a network glitch. Oh, sorry about that. The one that sets the quiz question cause some questions are really tricky, but we sail through. That's what I want to hear. Sail through. Well done, sir, for sailing through. You got 70%. That's fine. Excellent. In a Nigerian university, you got an A. If it was in a US university, maybe that would be a C. And then at the Incubator of University, maybe that would be a D. Maybe. Please give us an idea of what the date should look like in the dashboard. Okay, so let me do this. I go to Visual Basic. So we have the pivots. So let me unhide this. So the pivots are here. So let's say I want to plot this one. So I'm just gonna do Alt F1. This is what I have here, and then I do something like this. But let me do one that will make more sense to you. So I'll go back into this pivot table. So I'll change this to group this by, take our quarter, use month like this. I know you will complain. It's because of this troublesome guy here. So I'll pull this here. So I'll do this. Take this. So this, then I will do Alt F1. So this one, I would add all fields. I would take this out. Then I will change this to a line chart. I'll do line. I'll do a line chart like this. So this is a line chart. Then I can take this guy out. I can take this guy out. Then this line itself, I can format it. So I'll do format. I'll come here and I'll say I want it smooth. So it's more wavy like that. And yeah, so I've got this. And just resize this a lot more, like so. So I'll pick this guy and I'll go to report. I'll pull the guy here, so, like this. Yeah. So you see, so this is an example. Okay. Um, when is the deadline for the quiz? I've got no idea. I have my bosses are the ones coordinating the quiz. My own is they've sent me to class to come and teach, and I've taught. So they are my bosses. They will tell you. They will tell you when the deadlines are. How can we create a report for total sales generated from all regions in the dashboard? If you understood all we've done before, you'll be able to do this. 50% now to leave, so on and so. Is there another way to change to a chart without using Alt F1? Yes. Click on the table and go to Insert. Then you select your visualization option. How can we create a report? How do you ensure that the dashboard doesn't give error message when you update the individual worksheets? It depends on how you've done it from scratch. So, and then what error message are you getting? Uh, this one, Audio Akara, Uncle Isaiah. Can filter be added to the report? Yes, excellent question. So now, let's say that we want to be able to filter our entire report. So let's say we want to be able to filter the entire report by, let's pick something. Let's say we have this is business. What does it look like? Is business is what? Let's say okay, it's just 1 or 0. Okay, let me use that still. So let's say that you want to use this column here is business. You want to use it as a filter. So this is the traditional filter that pivot table comes with, but it's not an interesting filter because that will not sit well on a dashboard like this. So what you can typically do is you come to that particular column, you do a right click on it, and you say add as slicer. Add a slicer. If I select that option, it gives me this nice guy. So I'll pick the guy, Control X. I go to my report, Control V, and I just streamline this, maybe something like this. And then I can now go to slicer settings, and I say I want this to be in 2 columns so that the 2 items are beside one each other. And if I know that I'm going to use a slicer, so what I would typically do is maybe all of my slicers, they will be right at the top before these objects here. So I will do something like this. So I can do something like this. I'll bring this guy down and then bring this guy down like this. Don't be like me, you can use the alignment button to align things all properly. So then can bring this here, and then the slider button is here. So I can decide that I want to take out the slicer header, so I take that out. So I've got just this number. Again, before you do that, you have to be sure that your people understand what the numbers mean. So I want to, I can reduce the height of the buttons themselves. Reduce the height of the shape, increase this, increase this, reduce this. Yeah. So assuming that is the only slides I want to use, okay? Then, so what you will notice here is that if I click on this slicer, it's only affecting the line chart. It's not affecting these guys here. So what you typically have to do is to find a way to link this slicer to all of your charts. So what I would do is to select the slicer, you go to slicer here, and you have this guy here that says report connections. So if I click on report connections, it gives you this option that shows all of the pivot tables that you have. So if you have specific pivot tables that you want to connect to the slicer, you select them. By the way, the same way you get to know the name of from the pivot table, the name of the table that you're working with is the same way you will know the name of the pivot table. So otherwise, you just select all the slicers here, like so. And now you see that whatever you select now, the slicer will filter the entire report. So that's how that works. Uh, any more questions, people? Okay, apologies. Can you hear me now, people? I've been speaking actually. Yeah, the chart has the same color. How can you format it? So you click on any charts that you have. Then there are a couple of options. So if you come here to, if you click on any chart, you go here to design, you see some dirty options here. There are some options here. Then the other thing is you can right click on the chart, you go to format chart area. You see an option here for the fill. You might want to change a couple of things on how the chart background is. Okay, so you might want to change a couple of things around how the chart background is. So depending on your preference, but that's something that I typically would ask you to avoid to a large extent. So if you do a white even, you want to make it as transparent as possible. Maybe so you just marry that with the actual background. So, but that's the way. That's the way around it. So I think you all should come with your questions tomorrow. Let's see how much of it we'll be able to explore tomorrow. I look forward to the interesting questions you'll bring on board, and I'm praying and hoping that I'll have responses to them all. Well done, people. For those of you that you struggled a bit with the network, please make out time to watch the recording. Those of you that you didn't get, how can you go about storytelling? What does storytelling mean? That's the first question. What does it mean to you? So for those of you that you've missed a couple of sessions, it would be fine that you make out time to go back to those, to try to review them. It will be in your best interest, and so you don't pile up your learnings. The reason why you're here is not for you to get the certificate, is to get the learning, and that's why a couple of times it just doesn't go down well with me when we are in the middle of the session and someone is asking for attendance. You know, you're not here to mark attendance, really. So that's not a major point. But we'll talk tomorrow. All right. Thanks, people. We catch tomorrow by God's grace. Have a good night.